Welcome back to the podcast. This is going to be a spooky, scary episode today and in celebration of Halloween. As you are watching this, it is October 30th. It is Halloween Eve and things are getting spooky. Things are getting scary, right? We're ramping up for the very end of spooky season. I'm a little sad about that. Y'all know I love me some Halloween, and we're going to get into something today that's like really scary. And that thing is giving up on yourself, having a fear of failure, and allowing the past failures to sabotage where you're at today. So let's talk about it. I want to set the stage for a minute. Okay. I want to set the stage. And that is, you've been on a weight loss journey, you're losing weight, you're starting to feel better, you're starting to look better, and then it's bam. Hope that wasn't too loud. Bam. You hit a plateau. Okay. And you're in this plateau for weeks and weeks. Sometimes it goes on for months, right? Where week after week, the scale isn't moving. You aren't seeing the results. Maybe you are seeing some results, but they're not, you don't think they're reflective of the workload that you're putting in, right? And so what do you feel? You feel frustrated. You feel defeated. You feel hopeless. You feel almost like validation because you've talked so much shit to yourself with the inner fat bitch dialogue. It's almost like validating that belief that I'm never going to be able to do this. It's, see, I told you. And when you start feeling those or thinking those things, the feelings that come up are, I'm going to just quit. I feel frustrated. I want to throw in the towel. Why am I even bothering? Why try? I'm ready to just give it all up. I'm not doing this anymore. Here's what we know for sure. We know for sure when you give up, you are going to go back. When you give up, the weight is going to come back. When you give up, you are going to have those same feelings of disappointment and that whole thing, that whole cycle, the body hate, yo diet, the body image yo diet cycle starts all over again. And here's what I need you to do in that moment. This is what I'm going to have you do, and I want you to remember this. The moment you start to feel that way, the moment that you feel that frustration and you want to just quit and give up, you need to stop what you're doing and you need to like really go there. You need to visualize exactly what it's going to feel like to gain it all back. What is it going to feel like to gain it back? What is it going to feel like to be disappointed in yourself? What is it going to feel like to give up on yourself again? Are you prepared to feel your clothes getting tighter? Are you prepared to be disappointed in yourself? Are you prepared to have your stomach hurting because you're eating too much? Are you prepared to feel like shit in more ways than one? And if the answer is no, then you have absolutely no fucking business giving up on yourself. Do you hear me? No business giving up on yourself. Because here's one thing I know for sure. I sure as fuck am never going back. I am never, ever, do you hear me? I am never, ever going back to 270 pounds. Fuck no. There's going to be a lot of F-bombs today. I'm on a rant and a rave, and here we go. I'm not going back. I didn't come this far to only come this far. Okay? Do you hear what I'm saying? I didn't come this far to give up on everything that I did, all the hard work, all the sacrifice, all the blood, sweat, and tears. I didn't come this far to then go back and do it again. I'm not doing it again. Let me ask you this. If you're on a road trip, right, and you're driving East Coast to West Coast, okay, and you get to the middle of the country, so you're starting in Virginia, you're hanging out with me, we're driving, we get to Texas, we're halfway in the middle, we're smack dab in the middle of the country, and our car breaks down. Are we going to think about this logic for a second? Are we going to be like, oh shit, our car doesn't work, it's not working. It broke down. It's got to go to the shop. Fuck it. We need to buy some airfare tickets and fly our asses all the way back home without a car. What? Or you know what, girl? Let's get us a rental car and let's drive back to Virginia and we'll just start over in a few months. No, that is so illogical and it makes absolutely no sense. But that's what you're doing when you're giving up on yourself and your weight loss journey. You are backtracking all the way to the beginning. And I have had that feeling too many times in my life where you are zombie eating and zombie walking your ass all through your life, just trying to get by, just surviving, not thriving, not living. And you wake up one morning and you decide you've had enough, right? Oh my God, I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to start over. Today's the day. And you realize how much you gain back. You realize none of your clothes fit. You realize you can't even fit your fucking shorts over your big ass hips because they don't fit anymore. And it's clutch my pearls and choke because I can't believe I got back to this point in my life again. Oh my God, how did I get here? Bitch, you know how you got here? You know how you got here. Quit fucking kidding yourself. You know how you got there. Are you prepared to wake up in the morning and have that feeling? I'm not. I got enough stuff in my life that feels disappointing. Like, it's 2024. Okay, there's enough going on in the external world around us that I don't need to feel disappointment in myself. Like, I don't have the energy for that. I don't have the time for that. I'm not fucking my piece up over some food. I'm not doing it anymore. That ship has sailed, that door has closed, and I'm not going back through it ever again. No. And let me tell you, there's absolutely no reason to ever weigh 270 pounds again. I'm done having babies. There's no more baby weight coming. For me in my personal life and my journey, there is no reason that I will ever need to weigh that number again. I'm not going back. I don't ever want to go back. So I want you to visualize and sit in it and what it felt like at your highest weight. And that's not to be like, oh, I want you to feel miserable. I want you to feel like shit. I want you to live in this negativity. No, what I want you to be able to do is to pull that out of your toolbox on those moments and those days where you're ready to give it up. You're ready to go turn to zombie mode and just stuff your face. No. Not doing it again. You cannot allow, and here's the other thing that happens, right? When you're going through this, it's frustrating, it's defeating, it feels frustrating, it feels defeating. And I think it also feels validating. You feel absolutely validated because you don't believe in yourself enough to think you're going to get the weight off. So when you see that it's not coming off, or you even see that it's going up on the scale, it's like validation of the inner fat bitch going, yeah, bitch, I told you, you're not losing that weight. You're never going to get to goal weight. You're never going to have a body that you love. You will never lose this weight. You will never break the Wonderland plateau. You will never do it. You're never going to do it. It's almost like you're expecting that validation. And that's the moment you've got to kick it in the ass and say, no, I will lose the weight. I will break the plateau. I will have a different life. I will get to feel different in my skin. Because that's all up to you. It's completely up to you, right? There's external circumstances that feel like they are blocking our success or they get in the way. Yeah, they're stumbling blocks. They're bumps in the road. But how are you going to deal with it? Bitch, I'm building a new road. If the road is shut down and there's no detour, then we're going to just go off-roading and we're going to make our own fucking road. You hear me? You feel me? That's what we're doing. I'm not going back to that shit ever again. So I want you to write it down. Get out your journal. Get out your notebook. Get out your pen. Get out your notes app. Whatever. Digital or analog, we don't care. And I need you to write it down. What it felt like at your biggest weight. Because when you start doing that, I know for me, you can probably hear it in my voice. It brings out a rage and an anger of, I will never do that again to myself. I will never allow me to treat me like a piece of shit. I will never allow me to disrespect my body like that ever again. I will never allow me to mask and shove my emotions down with food. I will never do that again, ever. I'm not doing that again. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So when you think about the things you couldn't do, the way that you felt, your health. Was your health impacted by your weight? Do you really want to go back to all that again? I know you don't. I know you don't. And and I call that the entitled fat girl syndrome. I'm like, oh, the scale's not going down, so fuck it. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. Okay, do that. Let me know how it works out for you. I've never known that to be a good idea because I've done it. Like, I speak from experience on this podcast, okay? I do not regurgitate the same information from other people like some things do. This is all from lived experience, guys. Okay? And I know from experience that will not end well. And that's that entitlement of just think about how stupid it is. Like, how stupid are we to think, I'm just going to quit? Who are you teaching a lesson to? Who are you teaching a lesson to? Like, I'll show them. Who are we showing? Who are we showing this to? Who are we teaching the lesson to? Who is it? I'll show them because, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, how about you show yourself that you can do it? How about you show yourself that you can do what you say you're going to do? How about you show yourself that you can keep a fucking commitment to yourself? How about you show yourself that you're not going to give up anymore? And how about you show yourself that you are worth the effort and and you don't deserve to feel like you used to? Like, how about we do that? And a lot of times, like I said, that validation, right? It's that fear of failure. I failed in the past. I can never do it. I've never done it. I've only gotten to this number. I've only gotten to this size. And once I get there, everything just falls to shit. A fear of failure, you know what's scarier than that? What's scarier is the giving up. What's scarier is what it feels like to go backwards after you put in all that work. Dig up that feeling for me, because I know you've been there where you've lost and it came back. That will always be scarier to me. I don't care about failing because I don't see things as failures, right? Anymore. Back in the day, sure, when I was like all or nothing Amy, it was like every time you went oh my God, I ate more than 5 points over my daily limit. I'm such a failure. I got to start over. Oh my God. Like the insanity of the cycle. I just can't anymore. Am I going to enjoy myself? Yeah. Am I going to eat what I want? Yeah. Am I going to eat in moderation? Also, yes. Am I going to eat all the special things, the sometimes foods on the everydays? No, absolutely not. Okay. So that perfectionism, all or nothing, will always sabotage you. When you learn how to get over that and how to be okay with failing and how to see failure as, all right, I gained 2 pounds this week. I own it. What did I do? What did I do this week that was different? Oh, I had birthday cake every night. Or, oh, I didn't work out and my body's been walking every day. Whatever. Fill in the blank. Use it as a learning experience and move on. Build a bridge and get over it. Get over yourself. Your struggle with weight, you are not the only one. It is not unique to you. We are all out here feeling it. We get it. Okay? So get over yourself a little bit. It's just part of the journey. It just is what it is. Okay? There's no other way around it. But this is really powerful stuff, right? Part of this journey, a massive part of this journey, you guys have heard me say this for years, is the self-awareness. Learning how to be self-aware and learning how to regulate your emotions is 90% of the weight loss journey. You know what to eat. Girl, please don't. And that's what people come on my DMs. I'm like, don't ask me what to eat. Do not come over here and ask me, what are you eating to lose weight? Food. The disordered, desperate dieting in you wants to know, what is she eating? How has she lost 70 pounds? How has that girl over there lost 100 pounds? What are they eating? What are they doing? It doesn't matter what I'm eating, because what I eat is not going to work for you, and what you eat is probably not going to work for me, right? Stop worrying about what food groups, how many carbs, how many calories. Fix your relationship with the food first. Fix your relationship with yourself first. It's not the carbs, it's not the calories, it's not the fat content. It's a you. It's a you problem. Ask me how I know. It's a you problem. You got to fix the relationship with you first. Because your relationship with yourself is disordered and broken. It is toxic and it is dysfunctional. So no amount of knowing, oh, I wonder how many calories what's their calorie deficit? What's their daily carb intake? What food groups are you doing the carnivore diet? Are you doing the plant-based diet? Are you doing the Atkins diet? No one gives a flying fuck what diet you're doing. They don't. Stop caring what diet somebody's on. Because if that shit worked, you would have been thin a long time ago. Real talk. If it worked to be on the Atkins diet or the keto diet or the whatever, Richard Simmons deal a meal, if any of that shit worked for life, you would not be sitting here washing the dishes, driving your car, listening to the Irresistible You podcast. You wouldn't need to. You wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have a podcast. I wouldn't be doing this. Because that's not the problem. You are not a bodybuilder, okay? You are not an Olympic athlete. You are not on a major league baseball team, a major league sports team, and meaning someone that needs to have a specific diet to meet, you know what I'm saying? We're not in that group, okay? It doesn't matter what the meal plan and the diet is. That is not your first line of business. That is not your first priority, not your problem right now. Your number one problem, fix yourself. Fix your relationship with yourself. Fix it. Work on it. Build it. It's toxic as fuck right now. Think about it. Like the inner fat bitch chatter dialogue, right? Imagine talking like that to your husband, to your kid, to your mom, to your boss. You wouldn't do it. Nobody would want to be around you. And then you wonder why you can't stand your own company. You wonder why you don't like to be alone. You wonder why you don't like just sitting in your own company by yourself when everything's turned off and everybody's gone to bed. That's terrifying to you because why? Now you're stuck with your thoughts. Now you're stuck with what the voice is saying in your head about you because you're not busy eating. When all that goes away, you got to deal with it. And choosing not to deal with your inner thoughts, beliefs, rules that you've created, choosing to continue on, you're just burying it and you're pushing it down and it's not solving it and it's not going to go away by itself. A diet and losing weight will not rid you of that feeling. If you don't know how to regulate your emotions, if you don't know how to feel self-aware and recognize patterns and when things are going to trigger you, and that's about boundaries, girl. That is putting boundaries around your life about, okay, I know if I go to this event, it's very triggering for me because blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm not going. Or I can only go to this for an hour. I can only be around that group for an hour, 2 hours tops. You got to know yourself to help yourself. Stop worrying about what everybody else is eating and drinking. It doesn't matter. Work on that relationship first. Work on becoming self-aware. Because if I asked you, what did you eat yesterday? Most of you can't even answer that question. Because you're just all through life, just surviving. And you're not paying attention. You're not aware. If you're not self-aware of your own feelings, do you think you're self-aware about what's going in your mouth? Hell no. Hail to the no. So, we are all over the place ranting and raving today. It is what it is. We're not going back. You don't want to go back. You really don't. I don't care if you've been on the journey for a week or 2 weeks. You got to keep going. You don't get to quit. You don't get to quit. You don't get to throw in the towel and give up on yourself. Because the thing about it, there is no one else that can do this for you. So if you're over here, oh, my life is so hard, the economy's so bad, work is this, the kids are driving me crazy, we're all going through it, boo. Like, preach to the choir. Come on. Like, we're all feeling it. We're all going through it. And you cannot expect your life to be perfect, right? You cannot expect, well, when it's perfect, then I'll work on this. That's not how it works. You got to learn how to do this when it's awful. You got to learn how to take care of yourself, especially when things aren't going good, especially when you're in survival mode, especially when you're not at your best. And it's so important. And I want you to really, if there's nothing else you take away today, it's that I'm going to do this exercise where I visualize what it was like to be at my highest weight. What did I feel like? What did I look like? What was it like the moment I woke up in the morning? Start there. That's really powerful, from like literally the moment your eyes open to the moment your eyes close. What was life like for you? I can remember, this was back in way before kids, way before marriage, before anything. It was like going to college. And that is when I gained, out of high school, I gained my highest. I was actually a higher weight when I delivered Javi, but this was the most weight I had gained, like not being pregnant. Okay. Almost 100 pounds in a very short time. And I remember, because I would go to work, I worked a full-time job, and I would go to college at night. And I can remember, and I was young, like we're talking 18, 19, 20. I was walking around the campus and I would be winded. I would be so tired. Like I would feel physically exhausted, and I shouldn't have been, right? And just, this was back in 2000, 2001, when we didn't have the internet like we do now, right? We were still on dial-up. We did not have social media. We did not have, I think, what do we have back then? AOL chat, Yahoo chat. We did not have social media like we do now. We didn't have all of these amazing resources and role models and people to see and be like, oh, I see myself in her, or she looks like my body type, or you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have any of that. And the resources for plus size, there were none. Like there was this little time, and they still got a lot of work to do, but it was even worse. Like a lot of the stores didn't even have a plus section, or if they did, it was like hideous grandma clothes. It was awful. And so my clothing choices at this time in my life were very limited. And I remember having, I know I've told this story in other episodes, it's been a while, and I know I'll have a lot of new people, so you're going to hear it again if you're not new. I had these boots, and they weren't like neat. They were like came up like mid ankle or so, and they didn't zip all the way. They did not zip all the way. I couldn't even zip them over my ankles. But I would wear them, and I would wear them completely unzipped. So they were clinking and clonking off my foot as I'm shuffling around the campus, right? And I convinced myself, because we are very good. The entitled fat girl is very good at convincing and living in denial. That's a very learned skill. And I convinced myself, like, nah, girl, this is the style. Like, I'm going to make this a thing. Yeah, Amy, we're going to make it a thing to have boots hanging off our feet because they don't fucking zip. Like, the delusion. But that's what I did. And it's because I wanted to wear cute boots. There were no boots for wide calves back then. It wasn't a thing. We didn't have internet shopping, like we just didn't. I think this is when Amazon was still a bookstore, right? Like we just didn't have it the way we do now, where it has never been easier. It has never been an easier time to work on ourselves. We have the tools, we have the resources, we have these little micro computers in our hands at all times that have everything at our fingertips. We can shop, we can get what we need, we can see people that look like us, we can find people that look like us that we relate to, that are not polished and conditioned media stars. That's all we had. It was whoever was in the media, whoever was on MTV, whoever was in the magazine, that's it. You didn't get to see everyday people like you and I on social media or even on TV or YouTube. It wasn't a thing. So it has never been an easier time to get our shit together. Seriously. And even I'm not saying the work is easy. The work is not easy. What I'm saying is the accessibility has never been easier as it is right now. So I think about that feeling often of how it was walking around school, how it felt not having clothes that fit me. And let me tell you, I had this outfit and I thought it was so cute. I would wear it to the club and everything with those boots that I just told you about. It was snakeskin. Girl, I have a phobia of snakes. I'm not just throwing that out. Actual, probably clinical diagnosed phobia of snakes. I hate them. I hate snakeskin. I don't like snakeskin anything. But let me tell you, I found this outfit at the time. It was at, oh my God, Burlington. It was a Burlington outfit back in 2000. I've got to find a picture of this. I know I have one because I used to wear it to the club all the time because it fit and I thought it was cute. It wasn't. It really wasn't. And I think about, I wore an outfit of an animal that I have a phobia of. It freaked me out even wearing that print, even though it's not real snakeskin, it's just the print, right? I think about that. I think about the first time I looked in the mirror as a young person, being 18, and seeing that I had stretched my stomach so much that I had these big red angry stretch marks. And that felt devastating. It felt devastating when I saw that in the mirror. I couldn't believe that I ate so much and gained so much weight that I literally stretched and ripped my skin open. I think about, I used to wear these little cute short shorts in high school. Even though in high school, I was like a size 11, size 13. I've never been skinny. But I remember trying to put those on and they didn't go over my knees. They didn't even fit over my knees. That is insane. And I think about that. And at that time, it was denial. It was shock. It was like, oh my God. Like, I just lived in stretchy clothes. Remember Deb, the store Deb? My old millennials know. I used to go to Deb and I couldn't wear the jeans because none of the jeans fit. There was this one Deb at one of the malls that had a plus size section. And I just remember it feeling so gross. And I hated the way it felt. The first time I tried on a size 20, I will never forget that. I will never forget that. It was not a good feeling. And when I feel like quitting, I think about those stories. And that's just one of my weight gain stories, right? I have so many others that I can think about. But there's a lot of other things I think about too, but I'm just giving you some examples. So like I go back to that feel and I can smell that store. I can smell those boots. I really can put myself there. And I know one thing, I don't ever want to feel it again. I don't. And sometimes I go and I don't think about my body or I don't think about food and I'm like, I'll sit here and go, wow, that is huge for me. That's a lot of growth. That's a lot of recovery. And what I'm saying is that it's possible for you too. It is possible for you to get to the point where it's not an everyday obsession. It is possible for you to gain a few pounds or fall off the track and not feel like you're starting over from scratch because you're not. I would much rather start, oh, I gained back 5 pounds. All right, cool. Would you rather be, so what you're saying is when you say you want to throw in the towel, and you want to give up, so you'd rather start with a 50-pound deficit or a 5-pound. Make it make sense to yourself because you know it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. If you're angry and you want to just, instead of doing that thing of, I'm going to show them, I'm going to just throw in the towel and quit doing all the things I'm doing because it doesn't work and I'm going to just eat whatever I want. Why don't you redirect that anger and go punch a punching bag? Go to one of them axe throwing places. Go to one of those trash, what are those? You go in a room and you destroy things. I want to do that so bad. Like I want to break stuff. I want to break everything in that room. I want to just throw glass and I swear to God, I want to do that so bad. Go do something like that. So think about how scary it is. How scary it was to be where you were. How scary it feels to quit on yourself, to not believe in yourself. Do you want to disappoint yourself once again? How about we prove the inner fat bitch wrong and stop proving her right? We need to prove her wrong. Like, we can do this. We will do this. We are doing this. That's what we got to do. We're going to go ahead and we are going to wrap it up here. If you love the podcast, could you do me a favor and please leave a rating and review on your podcast player? My podcast player of choice is Amazon Music. I'm an Amazon Prime member, so I have the Amazon Music app for free. You do have to download it, but it's free if you're a Prime member. You will have access to millions of songs, podcasts, playlists, stations. That's all I listen to in the car and on my phone. And it is, like I said, if you're a Prime member, it's free. If you're not a Prime member, please sign up with my 30-day free trial down in the show notes. And let's stay connected over on Instagram at Irresistible Icing. That is the best way to stay in touch with me in between episodes, as well as make sure you are on my email list. That way you will get notified of new podcast episodes, new products that are coming out, and when the course relaunches very soon. So that link is down in the show notes. And when you sign up, you will also get access to a free action plan. So make sure you go ahead and do that. I'm going to wrap things up here. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Until then, stay irresistible. Bye, guys.